In this video, I'm going to go over a browser known as the Vivaldi web browser. And this is for Android devices, Windows, Mac, and Linux. And I'm using Ubuntu Mate 18.04, the long-term support, but it also works on the 20.04 long support, which is on my laptop. Once you get it installed, I'm using the traditional menu. You can go to Applications, Internet, and click on the link or the icon of Vivaldi. I already have it installed, and I already have the tabs open along the top. Now, before I get to showcasing everything that you see here, let me go to my website. And if you found this video on YouTube, I will provide a link below the video that will take you to this website. Now, if you're using Ubuntu Mate, it actually has a one-step installation within the welcome menu. Within the welcome menu, if you open up your welcome menu, click the browser selection icon. You can install Vivaldi by clicking the install button, one-click installation. It'll prompt you for your password. And once you get any of these browsers installed, you can change the default from whatever your default browser is by clicking the set default, and to remove it is just a click of a button by clicking the trash can to remove it from your system. Now I have other browsers here, but we're going to focus on Vivaldi. Let me give you a brief description of what the Vivaldi web browser is. Vivaldi is a web browser that is fast, private, and secure. It has an integrated ad blocker that blocks ads and trackers. So it's very secure. It's built for security in mind. And as you can see, this is what it looks like once you install it on your system. It actually has a lot of the speed dial icons where you can click on them like bookmarks to go instantly to those most widely used websites. Now these are the defaults. You can change those for your preferences, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You can actually go to the Chrome Web Store to install extensions, and as you can see here, I have some extensions that I have recommended below that I already have them installed for time's sakes. And let me actually show you very quickly what the initial page looks like when you install it. And these are the speed dials that you can click on to go very quickly. Now once you highlight over a speed dial, you can remove it by clicking the delete button. You can add a different icon from your system, and if it doesn't immediately change, you can hit the refresh button. Now you can right click on any of these to say open in a new tab, to open in a background tab, to open it, open in a new window, open in a private window. You can select a custom thumbnail which is on your system because it's got ... that'll bring up a dialog box allowing you to change it. You can clear the custom thumbnail. You can reload. You can edit. When you click edit, it allows you to change the name. It allows you to change the URL. So instead of deleting and going back and adding those, you can change each speed dial icon and link that's associated with it by right clicking and choosing the edit bookmark. The other features you have is to rename it, to cut, to copy, paste, and you can actually delete the speed dial. And you can add more across it, and if you keep adding more that's on your screen, you'll get a scroll bar. So this is how you change the speed dial. Now the speed dial is the default up here. You can click on the bookmarks. You can remove these from your toolbars if you don't like this using up your browsing real estate from your start page. You can view the history and your notes. And I like the little note-taking feature that you can click onto. It allows you to type notes and save them. And I'll show you in just a moment where you can access the notes that you type. Now, I do have a section that explains everything parts of this browser on my website. Here's how you access the menu. It's not a menu bar across the top. It's on the left-hand side in the upper left-hand corner. You got the file menu, the edit menu, the view menu, the bookmarks menu, the tools menu, the window menu, and the help menu. The help menu, if you need any help, you can press the F1 button on your keyboard or click on the video Vivaldi help, and it does have videos that will help you. Keyboard cheat sheets, or hold down the control key and the F1 key to bring up your cheat sheet, and you can actually customize your keyboard shortcuts. You can start the welcome tour. Now when you first install Vivaldi, it'll go through a little welcome tutorial, and if you ever want to go back to it, go to highlight your help menu and click the Vivaldi welcome tour. You got the community blogs where you can look at what people post. You can ask questions on the blogs, kind of like a forum, and you can report a bug if you noticed a bug in the browser. You can click About to see the version of the Vivaldi that's on your system. In the lower left hand corner, you can show or hide the panel on your left hand side. There's your bookmarks, there's your downloads, and you can change your download location. Here's your history, the places that you visited. This is where you've got notes. You can trash them. This is just a sample note that I put. See where it's a little sample note. You can actually install images within your notes, and it has a screenshot tool that allows you to put screenshots that you have from your browser within your notes. Here's a calendar of the places that you visited, like a certain day you can look. It's more in depth in your history. You can look for a certain time and click onto it, and you can add things to your panel. You can add different things to the panel to make it quicker access. Now within the show hide, you click it again to toggle, and let me close out of the notes and go back to my start page. This is just a toggle switch that toggles it on and toggles it off. When you toggle it on, you actually have access to your settings feature just as you did up through the menu and the tools and the settings. And I have a section on my website that explains each tab that you see on the left hand side. For example, the General tab allows you to change the way that the browser starts. You can change it to the default browser. You can say to start with the start page, or you can say to start with a specific page, which makes it your home page. So for initially, the home page and the start page is the same. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me hide this. Like it's on the start page. When you open it up, if you've not changed it, this is your start page. But when you press the home button, it's the same as the start page. So if I open up a new tab, it's in this here, and if I hit home, it's the same thing. So let's say that I want to change my home page that's different from my start page. So if I go here, I could set Google. Let's just change that from Google to say Bing, so we'll have an image to look at. So if I go Bing, close this out, and then hide this. Now remember, if I hit tab, it's not going to go to the home page. It's going to go to the start page. But if I hit the home page button, it now goes to my home page. I can close this out here. So as you can see, home page and start page are two different things. The start page is when you open the browser. The home page is when you hit the home button. So that way, if you like to set your home page different than your start page. Now within your Generals tab, you can also set your start page to something different. You can say start with your last session, start with the home page, start with a start page, and that's what it is. I don't know why it didn't change the home page there. I guess because I haven't changed it here, but it say start with start page, start to a specific page, and you have other options. Now I'm not going to go through and read every single one. I do have a better description on my website about each tab. You can change the appearance and the way that the animations and things are displayed on your system. You can control the zoom. If you're having trouble reading the text, you can increase the zoom by dragging the slider bar to the right, or you can decrease it by dragging to the left, and you can hit reset to go back to 100%. So if I wanted to increase my font size, I would go this way. You don't see it immediately applied until you let go of the slider, and then when you go back to the other way, you can go below 100%. And when you let go of the slider, it then applies itself. To hit reset, it goes back to the default 100%. Now you do have a slider down here on your status bar so that you can change it according to the website. This is like changing it to applies as the default to every web page. This applies just to the active tab. So that's the difference between the two sliders. You have other options like the background image here. You can change it. You can load an image from your web page. You also have themes. By default, the current theme is the dark theme. You can change it to hot pink, private. You can even edit a theme, so you can edit and change the color scheme that you want. You can do a corner rounded so that the edges of the tabs, instead of being pointed, have a rounded shape to them. So this is a very customizable browser that has lots and lots of settings and features. For your start page, you can see that the background of your start page is this one. You can change it to where it's pink, Aurora light, and you can actually go in there and customize it so you're choosing colors, things from Vivaldi. Here's the colors one that gives you solid colors. You can choose a nature scene. That's your background. You can go to an abstract scene. You can choose animals as your background, or you can customize it. You can open up an image and put a custom image in the background. So I'm going to go back to the one that I had it at, which is the Aurora Dark. You've got a lot of other features where you can control the way that your speed dial looks and behaves. This controls your tabs, what your tabs look like across the top. If you'd like to stack them on the left hand side, the right hand side, or even put your tabs on the bottom. By default, the tabs are across the top. You've got a lot of things that you can change with the tabs, and I'll talk more about tabs in a moment when I discuss tab stacks. Your panel. This controls the way your panel looks when you click to show hide the panel in the lower left corner. Your address bar. This controls what you see in the way that your address bar works across the top. You've got lots of features there. If you like your address bar positioned at the bottom, you can choose to put your address bar at the bottom of the browser. So there's lots and lots of features. Here you have whether or not you open a bookmark in a new tab, and a lot of other features pertaining to bookmarks. Your quick commands. This allows you to say open pages in a new tab when you click a link. There's lots of features that you have that you can say. By default, most of these are selected. Not every one of them, but you can read and change these commands to your personal preferences. These are your keyboard shortcuts. As you can see, you can hit X to clear them and set your own keyboards, and then if it doesn't show up, you hit the refresh button and it will refresh it to your new keyboards. So if you like to use the shortcut keys to save you time, I'm more of a mouse person, moving a mouse around the screen, but if you're someone that likes using the shortcut, you can change those to meet your needs. Here's the mouse. You can control the speed of it and click on the different types, control the way it swipes, control the speed, the pixels, the gesture sensitivity, and the rocker gestures. So you can control the way that your mouse behaves within the browser, not within the operating system, but within your browser. Here controls the way that you're searching. When you go up here and use the search bar, you can change your default search engine. You can actually go and add a search engine. You can click on one and hit remove search engines. So you can customize the way that the search bar works within your browser. The privacy. Now this is a very private browser. You can set things. These are, I think, by default. You can come in here and change and add things to it. As you can see here, Tubi TV is a streaming video and TV website that contains ads. If you go to Tubi TV and use the regular deblock trackers and ads, since this is ad-supported website, it will not show any videos. So you have to make some exceptions. So you can go manage your sources, or you can hit add and you can put what URL bar that you want and say that block trackers and ads. In this case, I wanted no blocking, so I can view the content, the video from Tubi. So I added that to say no blocking when I go to Tubi TV, so I can allow me to see streaming sites. So if you don't want to block the trackers and ads within a particular website, you can hit add to it, and you can manage your sources by clicking that button to manage all the links that you have here. You can manage your passwords to where it saves it, so when you go to a password, it will have the dots in it where they're saved. You can actually uncheck that where you have to manually put them in each time. You can choose to accept cookie just during a session or never. You can block third-party cookies by clicking this. So you can increase and decrease the security by changing some of the privacy features. For the downloads, you can choose the location where you download files. You have other options associated with that. Now syncing, I don't have a Vivaldi account, but if you want to sync your browser with other Vivaldi browsers on other computers across the internet, you can create yourself a Vivaldi account. You put in your username, your password, you can choose to save it. And this is my desktop system. On my laptop it says HP laptop, and so that if I did log in, I could import all my bookmarks and my settings to where each browser I log in, they're synchronized with each browser. Web pages. This basically shows the way that your web pages will be displayed. Now on my laptop, since I have an Intel video driver, it flickers with a gray screen, so I had to open it up, go to my web page settings, and uncheck use the hardware acceleration when available, and that fixed my problem. So that's one of the things that I had to undo. Instead of using my hardware acceleration, I used the browser acceleration, the software. And then display all, when you click on that, it's just basically allowing you to scroll through every single one of the tabs on the site. So that's just a quick rundown of the different settings tabs on your left hand side. So I'm going to go back and hit show hide. Now let me show you how to install it. If you go to my website, if you prefer to install this on your system, you can actually click the link to go to the Vivaldi website, and you can click the download button. Now This is for the Linux Deb because I'm using Ubuntu Mate. If you're using a different operating system, you can drop down, but by default, it should pick up what type operating system you have, and you can choose like for a Windows system 64-bit, Windows system 32-bit, a Mac, and then down here is the Vivaldi for the Android device. And I already actually had this tab here open because I had pre-clicked it before I started the video. Now let me show you some of the things on the website. This is some animations that you have where you see that they added things on the tab on the side that you can add things to improve the speed for things that you locate or use more often. You can protect yourself from trackers. It has a built-in ad blocker, but you can use extension from the Google Chrome Web Store. As you can see, I put uBlock Origin, a popper blocker. I used Privacy Badger. I also have the advanced website safe search, so if I'm using a search engine, it will show me little green things for safe sites, yellow colors for caution sites, and red X's or a red shield with a white X in the center for websites that can damage your system or your browser. I have the HTTPS everywhere, so when I go to a website, it will actually by default, and you can't see it here, but it makes it secure if there is a secure site for that. There's other features that it highlights the key features, so you can go through here and read that on your own time if you choose to install it. But to download the deb file, you can go to that deb file, double click to open your package installer, whatever the version you have to install it. You can install gdebi to use the package installer, which I'm using. When it opens up, you can click the install package button. It will ask you to put your password. Wait till you see same version is already installed and the reinstall and remove package button before you close out the package installer. You don't have to keep this. If you want to remove it, you don't have to keep it so you can click the remove, but you can always remove it by the click of a button to remove the package. But you can delete this file once you get it installed, and you can always remove it by going to open up your the terminal and go sudo remove Vivaldi-stable if you install the stable version. And that's the illustrated steps for installing the installation file. If you prefer to use the copy and paste within your terminal, you just simply open up your terminal. I'm going to go ahead and close. I have illustrated steps. Copy and paste everything that you see that I have bolded. Right click copy, paste it into your terminal. Press the enter return key, it'll prompt you for your password, and then it will add the key to your system. Then you just simply copy and paste everything that I have bolded here, put it into your terminal, and then press the enter return key, and it will update your PPAs by adding the Ubuntu or the Vivaldi PPA to your repositories. And then you simply just go sudo apt install Vivaldi stable. There is a nightly version, but we're not installing that. When you put that in there, press the enter return key, and it will install it on your system. Then you will have access after you installed by going through your menu. If you don't see an icon in your menu after you install it, then I recommend you to reboot your system, and it should be placed within your menu. Now, like I said earlier, you can remove it by going sudo remove Vivaldi stable to take it off your system. Now, once you do get it installed, as I've already talked about the Vivaldi ad tracker and blocker, I showed you how you can go through in the settings to get to the tracker and blocker. You don't have to really do that. It's very simple. Like if I was at Tubi TV, or if I wanted to unblock the ads or remove the blocker from this website, you just click the shield here, and then I can say no blocking. If I click that, it will have ads. If there's ads from Weebly, I could say just block the trackers. By default, it's to block the trackers and the ads. You can click the manage the default, which will bring this dialog box back up, allowing you to add things like I showed you within the settings menu. But you don't have to click the manage icons. You can just choose which one, and it will apply itself to that website. So if I said no blocking, it will not block any ads or track anything from the Weebly website. So you don't have to actually go through your settings menu. It's a quick way of accessing that. Extensions. I've already showed you the extensions I have. I have links to them. So if you'd like AdGuard, you can click this and it will open up the web store and put the AdGuard ad blocker where you can install it. But in this case, since I've been using AdGuards in past videos, I decided to use the uBlock Origin. It's just as good, if not better. So I put that on there. And as you can see on this particular website, or the links that I have open, the tabs I have open, it has currently blocked 2 ads from the sites that I have. you can install the DuckDuckGo Privacy Essential or Privacy Badger to give you increased security. You can click those links to read more about those, since this video is not about those extensions. The WOT Web of Trust and the Avast Online Security, when you're using the search engine, they will both do very similar to represent green colors out to the left of the links or safe sites. Yellow, you just have to use caution. Red, don't click on them. It could be a trickery to try to get your information or to damage your system. HTTPS tries to make the websites that you visit to a secure website. So those are the extension that I added to give myself some increased security. It plays videos very good from YouTube. I can tell you, if you're just blocking ads just with the default ad blocker, when you go to YouTube, you might have a little button here. It says skip ads, but it will not show an ad. You click the button and it starts. When you put uBlock up here along with the popper blocker, it will go immediately to your video without hitting the show skip ad button on YouTube, or at least it did at the time that I installed it on the system. Now here's one of the things that separates Vivaldi from other browsers. You can actually create what are called tab stacks. This is one tab that I have open, the one that's visible, but as you can see across the top, I have other tabs that are placed inside this tab. What I mean by that, let me close my start page, and this is my web page here. If I wanted to take this, well actually I'm going to close this one. If I wanted to take this tab and put it within this one, since they're all containing Vivaldi information, if I wanted to organize them, I just simply drag on top, let go. Now within this tab, there's two tabs, and I can highlight over it. Let me go back here. When I go back here and highlight, you can see that I got my current website, or if I highlight over it, click on this one, I can switch back and forth. I can toggle between the two. Now if I wanted to drag some more, I can just take that one and drag it on top, then drag this one on top. And as you can see here, when I highlight, there's 4 tabs. There's the active tab along with the other 3 tabs that are not active. Now I know I'm not on the status bar yet, but if I go to the status bar and I click this button right here, this shows you like page tiling. Now that will separate them in 2, and since I have 4 up here, I'll wait till I pull them apart before I click that one. That's to tile them vertically. This is to tile them horizontally. This is a grid tile, and that's back to your default. So if I got 4 here and I wanted to separate them, I could click the grid, and I have all 4 tabs where they're in the shape of a grid where I separate those. So you can highlight over the tab to see a thumbnail image, and you can click to make it the active one. So if I wanted to go here and click the green one, now this was the active tab. So when I use my scroll button on my mouse, it's the active tab, or I can use the scroll bars. So you can treat these as 4 separate browsers. You can work with each of these. Now if I go back to my normal mode, it goes back to the active tab. Now to separate these, you highlight above the tab. You just simply drag them off back onto the bar. Well, I didn't drag it far enough. You can drag it back onto your tabs bar, and it's back here. It removed it. Let me remove one more. Alright, now I only have 2. So as you can see here, when I go back to it, there's just 2. When I go back down here on the status bar, click this. If I go to page tiling vertically, I now separate my 2 tabs where they're vertically separated. The line is vertically in the middle, and this is talking about tab stacks. I can click and scroll them down this way. So if I'm comparing things, like if I'm on a website and taking notes and I want to look at the website for reference information, I can open this browser and simply write within the note-taking feature of Vivaldi. And I can use the screenshot tool to take pictures of images. I can take a picture of a whole page, a selection of a page. I can save it as a PNG, a JPEG file, put it on the clipboard, or put it within the note-taking utility on this particular browser. And this allows you to capture it. So it does contain a screenshot tool. That's the vertical. You can separate them horizontally, where you have it wider than you do. A while ago it was thin. This way it's wider, but you can still scroll through each tab that you have on your screen. To go back to the default, you go here. Now again, to separate those, you just simply select it, drag it back to your bar at the top to separate each of those. Now across on my website, I also have explanations of everything that you see on the browser itself. So that's the tab stacks and how you can split your screen vertically, you can split it horizontally, and I explained the status bar, which is across the bottom. I already showed you the show panel, which is basically the show hide that works as a toggle switch. The take a break mode is the second one. Like if you got multiple tabs open, and let's say you're watching a video from like YouTube, if you want to stop everything currently, you can hit the take a break. And what you're playing on YouTube will stop at the exact point. It's almost like pressing pause to every one of your tabs. You can walk away and go use the bathroom, take a break if you're at work. When you come back, click that button again, and your tabs are back active the way they once were. So that's a take a break mode. This is your sync to the cloud. If you've got a account, you can click here and you can sync it to your account, Vivaldi account, to synchronize your browsers. Your page info, there's nothing down here, but as you can see when I click that little advertisement, the URL showed here. So if I had a website link, like where I had it a while ago where you could download it, which was up here, I apologize, when you highlight over a link, you can see it show in the page info section of your status bar. So when you highlight over it or when it's loading, you will see the information. So a lot of times, especially if you open a web-based email, you can highlight over a link before you click onto it, read the actual website that it's going to, because it could be a phishing website trying to take you to unsafe website. So it allows you to look at where it's going before you click onto it. Next, we have on the status bar, let me go back to where my status bar is, which is here. You've got your capture page, and I've already showed you that you can click onto. You can capture a full page, you can capture just a selection of a page, save them as a PNG, a JPEG, put it on the clipboard where you can copy and paste it later, or put it within the note-taking tool, and you can use the capture here. So I'm not going to do that for time's sake. Here, I've already showed you how to use the different type of tiling, page tiling. Toggling images. When you click this one here, there are a lot of page actions. My favorite page action is the reader mode. Let me pull my GitHub back over here on the corner. On GitHub, as you can see, it's very active across the sides, but if I wanted just to focus on the content in the middle, like let's say this is an educational website, there's ads across the sides or things that's distraction. If you're someone that gets distracted very easily, you can go into the reader mode by clicking here, go into reader view, and it takes everything from the top and the sides where you can focus on just the content in the middle. It almost looks very similar to the way I have my website design set up, where it's got the wood on the side that you don't pay attention. You just focus on the key points in the middle that help you stay focused on a particular topic. So for educational websites, this is great for taking out the distraction, and that's the reader mode or reader view within the page actions. And there's a lot of functions or actions within those. And on my website, I have a description for each of the individual page actions. So if you'd like to look and understand each page action, you can use that as a reference to understand what they do. The next is your zoom. You just drag it over to increase the font size, pull it over, and if you can't pull it back to the 100%, you can click the reset button to take you back to 100% zoom. You do have a clock in the lower right corner. By clicking onto it, it makes an analog clock. You can create a countdown. You can change it to hours, minutes, and none. You can start the timer, so that way you can, and there's different types of timers. Let me scroll to the clock section, which is here. You can left click it to show the panel that you just saw, or you can right click it to set each of these. And I have a description of each of these options here. So like if you want a Pomodoro, a little timer that counts down like a kitchen timer. So if you're doing a time test or an online time test, you could click on this. Let me show you. You could say a new countdown, click on this, and set the time so that you could come in here earlier, like it's set for 24 minutes, and at the end of 24 minutes, you left click on it, set your time up here, and I'm going to cancel that out. Now, you could put the amount of countdown for your alarm, put your hours, your minutes, and when you choose that type timer, it will count down and it will alarm at that particular time. So I have the different type of countdowns and the way that you can configure your clock in the corner if you want to change the way that it looks and displays. Now, some people probably remove the clock since their operating system has a clock that they can look at, but it's nice to have on your web browser if you're constantly used to looking in the lower left hand corner. But like I said, you can reconfigure that. One of the things I like about Vivaldi is you can set up different profiles. Like up here, you can click on, and I know it's a different image that you see here, but by default it'll say person 1. If you sign in and sync, you can synchronize different people and associate a different profile. Like if I click here, I can change person 1 to put my name. Once I put my name, I can scroll down through a list of icons. I can choose an icon that associates with my profile, hit the save button. Well, I guess I didn't click the set the name, but I didn't set the icon. It's still not changing. I guess, don't know why it's not changing. There it did. I just guess I didn't hit the save button hard enough. So if I wanted the dog, you highlight the dog, hit the save button, and it changes the icon to, I guess I just didn't click hard enough a while ago. I was clicking, but I didn't change it. But you click, left click, hit the arrow over, put in the name of the profile that you're synchronizing, and if you want to leave that as the default profile, you can change your icon and hit the save button. I'm going to cancel now because I do have my name here and a dog. You can manage the people, the profiles that's on your system, or you can exit from that to go back to the default, which is nothing, which is person 1. So you can have a profile set for each individual that uses your system. Now over here I show you the menus that I already went through at the beginning of the video, and I do go through and I explain each of the dialog boxes that you see within the tabs within your settings menu. So I'm not going to go through there and explain these since I kind of went through them very quickly at the beginning of the video. Now, as I said, you can change your home page to be something different from your start page. So when you click the home button, like I can go back here, click the home button, it's something different than my start page. It actually takes me to the Bing website or whatever site that you have it set up as your home page. Now, streaming services, like I said earlier, this worked great with streaming services. However, Tubi TV did not play until I told it to no blocking. So you just simply go here, choose no blocking for a website, so that way you don't have to put exceptions. You can click here and it will remember it for that particular website. So if I go back to Tubi, it knows that Tubi is not being blocked by ads because this is an ad supported website, and it will play your videos and play them perfectly fine, and you can maximize them. And if you have a Chromecast, you could send them to your TV by clicking the Chromecast icon here so that you don't have to sit in front of your laptop or desktop system. If you want to know more about the features, you can click the link here and it will load up the features of Vivaldi, which you can scroll down and read and click a section for the features you want to know more about. If you need help with Vivaldi, you click the help link at the bottom. You can look for help pertaining to your topic according to the way that they have them organized, and they have a wonderful web page. For looking for help, they have it organized by topics. You choose a topic and you can probably find the what will help you work with the browser within the help menu. But if you can't, you can post it on a forum so that other people from the community and the developers can look through the forum. And you might can find stuff through the announcements, so support and troubleshooting. That's where you can kind of put, if you would like to request a feature, click the link, and these are other general discussions in your local forum. So you can go here to work with people within the Vivaldi community. And if you notice a bug, now that's not to say if you can't get something to work. Sometimes it's because you don't know how to use it. Look through the forums first, go through the help in the forums, and if you notice it is a bug with a Vivaldi browser, you can report a bug by clicking this link here on the bottom of my website. And it shows you some of the common problems here, recently reported issues. You might can click and find something related to yours. If not, you can click ask on the forum, or you can go through and answer the questions right here to report a bug to the developers. So this is just a rundown. I know I spent a lot of time, but there's a lot of features, and I didn't spend a lot of time on a particular feature. I just went through and covered a general, some general knowledge of some of the major features within the Vivaldi browser. The Vivaldi browser is built with privacy and security in mind. So if you're looking for a browser that can be highly customized, and I know I didn't really customize it much within this video, there's a lot to the Vivaldi browser. So if you're looking for a browser that has lots and lots of features and they can be customized and that's very private, then I recommend installing Vivaldi Browser. You don't have to use these features. If you get intimidated by all the features, remember they're hidden. Or if you do have them in view, click the toggle mode where you don't see all the features. You can make it look like a basic web browser, and you never really have to worry about these because, like I said, it has an internal ad blocker that will block ads and trackers by default, so you don't really have to go and worry about installing the extensions that I did. That's just for added extra security. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and have a great day.